Hey guys. Well, I've been working in the nursery to do another live stream. It's just so nice out here. And I don't know if any of you guys are around, but I figured I'd do an earlier one because there are people on the other side of the world that seem to miss them. So it is currently 2:58 p.m. Pacific time here on the Southern Gulf Islands. And current temperature is 74.8 degrees Fahrenheit with 42% humidity. It's a very nice day here. And I brought a cool palm up, one that I grew from seed. And, I was thinking this thing was a Bismarckia nobilis, but I think I'm wrong on this. And I've grown Bismarckia nobilis before. I put a 5-gallon palm. Hey, palm guy. See you out there, man. Um, I grew several from seed, actually quite a few from seed. I collected the seed in Honolulu, Wendy and I. And all those seed rotted except for a couple of them. And I thought these were the ones that I planted in the 2-gallon pots, but now I'm looking at these things and I could be wrong. I don't know if that really does look like a Bismarckia. It's really stiff, the leaves on it, and they're kind of a bluish color. I don't know. Do you have any ideas, folks? I'm wondering if it's like a Trithronyx or something like that. I have two of them in these pots. What happened with the other Bismarckia seeds? They kind of rotted out. So they germinated. They got the long root on them. They even send up a bit of a shoot, and then they petered out because I put them in the cold greenhouse. My bad. Just letting you know it's quite grainy. Well, maybe I need to be on a different. I'm on the router, but we have two um, internet feeds here, so I could go over to the other one. Let's just see. I'm going to try that. I'll figure out which one I'm on right now. Let's just see what this says here. Let me just see. Let me get my glasses on and see what's going on here. Connect secured. No, it's showing me I got all the bars. I should be okay. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I can't do much better than that. The one shows only 2 bars, and our other one, because we have a booster on it, Island Paradise, is all the bars showing up. So hopefully you guys are having good weather like us here in the Southern Gulf Islands. Wendy and I went for a hike this morning, and I spread a lot of palm seeds through the forest. Whenever I go for a hike, I like to bring some palm seeds with me. Cheers. And spread them through the forest. And I look for wet spots in the forest, and that's where I throw the palm seeds because that's where they like to germinate. Bloody freezing here. Yeah, I know Montreal and Toronto, and I think even as far south as Niagara got snow, or at least snowflakes. Lee Bourne, hey, aloha there, buddy. Yeah, I know it got pretty cold in Toronto the other day. I think it got down below freezing, and they did get some snow. Kind of strange, seeing snow in May. I can honestly say that has never happened here, but I have seen snow in April. The latest I have seen snow here was April, I think it was April 18th, 2008. It was crazy, man. It never got that cold. It never fell below freezing. And I have photos of it, and the palm trees were covered with snow. Skiff of it. There was, I don't know, maybe an eighth of an inch or something like that. And it was gone by lunch. It was all melted away, but it was still snow. 25 UK South today. Right on. Yeah, we're just we're encroaching 25 degrees Celsius here. It's 24.2 right now degrees Celsius here on Salt Spring Island at our location, and I know it's probably a lot warmer the inland sections of our island. If you get in where they grow the olives, it's in from the water there on the south end of the island. They're probably up around 27 degrees Celsius down there. They always get a lot warmer temperatures down there. They could be even 28 degrees Celsius. And same with the Burgoyne Valley. So anywhere near the water, we're near the water. We're only about 900 feet from the beach here. So it never gets the heat units like some of the other places do on our island that are inland. So, but hope everybody's palms are thriving there. It's supposed to be very warm again tomorrow. And then I see some rain for next week, which is the perfect combination for an exotic garden. And we got the irrigation going right now. It's been a very dry spring. And even though we do get some scattered showers here and there, it really doesn't amount to too much. But we do have irrigation in our back garden here. Wendy's got the irrigation going right now. But I would love to see rain throughout the summer months here, and that's something that never happens. You know, we go 2, 3 months without any rain, and to get rain every couple of days here would be just amazing. What is the average annual temperature on your island? Well, I'm trying to think what it is. I mean, I record the temperatures daily, minimum and maximum. I've never really looked at the average annual temperature on Salt Spring Island because it varies from one end to the other. Our island is just about 17 miles in length and is completely different from one area to the next. I can leave for work in the morning here, and it can be raining on a winter day, and I can show up at work 8.5 kilometers south of here, and there can be this much snow on the ground. So it's really hard to tell. And I've never really figured out my average temperatures here on at this location. What I can tell you, daytime highs in the summertime usually run around 75 degrees, right? And then nighttime lows, they're usually around 60, something like that. Sometimes a little bit warmer, sometimes a little bit cooler in the upper 50s. So they're quite pleasant. They're very pleasant. That's the summer months. Wintertime, we don't often go too much below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And when we do, it is pretty rare to drop below the mid 20s Fahrenheit. An extremely cold winter would be down to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And it is very, very rare to go below 20 degrees Fahrenheit, which is minus 6.5. So, and that's why they class this as a Northern Zone 9A. And if you look at our zone maps, it will show that too. How quickly I don't have the time to translate. How quickly I don't have the time. Sorry about that. Yeah. I wish it did have a translator on here. I saw somebody posting, I think from Thailand the other day, but I couldn't read the writing. It's too bad. Hey, Joe, let me get my glasses on here again. It's quite bright out here. And the sun bothers my eyes. I've had eye surgery in both eyes. I had a lens put in this one in January, and it does bug me, the sun. Hey, Joe, great backdrop. Great to hear you live. Right on. Thanks, Vincenze. I like that backdrop. Those are some of my seed grown palms there. There we go. Some of them are getting pretty tall. And there's, I don't know. Hey, Wendy, how many palms are in that group right there in that grove? Do you think there's probably about a dozen at least? Right here in this grove right here, right where you're working. Backdrop. There's probably at least a dozen palm trees in there. And then along the side of the house that you can't see from here, there's hordes of palm trees. I cluster them together. Wendy and I like to cluster palm trees together. It looks a lot more tropical. Regards from Poland. Hey, right on, Ubi. Nice to see you there from Poland. I've shipped a lot of palm seeds and palm seedlings to Poland. I just shipped some to Ontario this morning. Okay, let's see what we. The palm guy, much, but Trump says there isn't global warming. I don't know. I think the Earth goes through phases, and I know some years. I think back in the 1800s, there was quite a few years. There was kind of like a little mini ice age or something, right? They didn't. A lot of places didn't really have summers, and it was quite cold. So maybe we're just going through a phase. How far are you from the beach, Joe Fincenze? About 900 feet. 900 feet from the beach. We have a beautiful beach across the street from us. It looks like white sand, but it is actually crushed white shells, and they're middens. So thousands of years ago, the natives would come here, and they would party on those beaches and eat a lot of shellfish, and the shells would get all broken down. So sometimes you're sitting on those beaches, and you can find Indian native arrowheads. I found a few arrowheads there. Have you, Leeborn, have you tried growing figs, laurel, walnuts? Yes, we grow it all here. We have lots of fig trees here. There's actually fig plantation down the road from us, a commercial fig plantation. We also grow olives here on a commercial scale. There's over 3,000 olive trees growing at a big farm on the south end, and everybody grows figs here. As I was saying the other day on my live stream, in the summer months, when you're driving along the road at the right time, at the right month, when figs are ripe, you can pick up fresh figs at roadside farm stands. It is also night in Poland. Leeborn. Well, it is 3:07 p.m. here in the North Pacific on our island here. So we're the same time zone as California. Okay, so we're in the Pacific Coast time zone. And you know what's funny? It changes when you get to Alaska. Once you get to the Panhandle of Alaska, which comes right down the province of British Columbia quite a ways, they're an hour behind us. And if you go out into the Central Pacific, Hawaiian Islands are 3 hours behind us here. It's pretty amazing. So we're Pacific time zone here. Let's see. What else do we have? I'm reading. I'm glad you guys are in there right now. And that's why I wanted to do a afternoon live stream here, just so people in Europe can kind of join in. And I like seeing all you palm guys out there. It's kind of good. It's just kind of a palm tree group meeting here. I love the boardwalk on Ganges, Vincenze. Never been, but seen your vlogs. It's always looks spectacular, calm, and very palmy. Yeah, well, we maintain it. I work for the parks department, so we maintain the boardwalk. I don't look after the plants there, but there are a lot of palm trees and exotic plants along the boardwalk at Grace Point. There's acacia, there's eucalyptus, there's jubaeas, there's lots of camarops, a lot of camarops palms out there, and tons of trachycarpus palms. But over the years, they've cut a lot of beautiful eucalyptus trees down because the people that live out there do not like the eucalyptus trees. They say the roots were damaging the sidewalks and getting into the water pipes and stuff like that. So they cut down some amazing eucalyptus trees. Late last year, they cut down an amazing Eucalyptus globulus, a blue gum that was there for over 20 years. It makes me sick. It was the most amazing blue gum and probably one of the biggest ones in Canada growing here. Have you Musa itinerans India? No, I don't. I know the one well, and I don't think anybody grows that jungle banana from India. Okay, I thought it was from China. Okay, but I don't know of anybody that grows itinerans here on Salt Spring Island. Hi, Joe from Scotland. Hey, how's it going there, buddy? Marcy J, Scotland. Nice. There's lots of palm trees in Scotland. For those of you who don't know that, go to Logan Botanical Gardens, I think near Wiggintonshire. And there is a ton of, it might even be, is it near Edinburgh maybe? Or Wiggintonshire? Lots of palm trees and exotic plants in Scotland. There's tons of tree ferns there too. And the latitude at that area, I think, is about 54 degrees north latitude. So that would be like growing palms far north of our latitude. We're 48 degrees north latitude here in the Southern Gulf Islands. Okay, so who else do we have in there? We have a lot of people, Poland, Scotland. And it's great to hear you guys in Europe. And I know you guys must be about 8 or 9 hours ahead of us here on Salt Spring Island. I've never been to Europe yet, but I have relatives that live in Europe. You know that I am Italian, and my relatives live in Reggio Calabria in Ardoria, a town called Ardori, on the tip of the boot, looking across at Sicily. So there's lots of palm trees down there too. Lee Bourne, Leonode Savin grows figs in general and in the temperate zone where temperatures fall below wow. Well, I tell you what, Lee, when you grow figs, Ficus carica, in very cold climates, and I think they even grow them in Montreal, if you grow them up against a sheltered wall like a microclimate, what people do, they get them kind of whippy and they bend them down and they stake them down for the winter and then they mulch them so the tops don't freeze. Here they grow into huge trees, massive trees, and they produce an abundance of fruit. Sometimes 2 crops we get. Hi, Joe. Michael, Ryan. Hi, Joe. The Sable Minor seedlings you sold me are growing well in the UK. We are just above London. Right on. So London is 49 degrees north latitude, same latitude as Vancouver. Vancouver is very balmy and palmy, but London is actually milder than Vancouver in the winter because they grow giant Phoenix canariensis palms. And a lot of people don't know that. London is a zone 9A, and you have to love London. Vincenze just got some Trachylatosecta seeds. How easy are they to grow using it? Yep, they will grow in the baggy method, not a problem. Oh, watch my latest video I just uploaded about an hour and a half ago or so on removing seeds from the baggy method, because a lot of people ask me, when should I remove the germinated palm seeds from the baggy? And watch my video and you will see. We grow Latosectus here. We have 2 of them in our garden. And I just want to tell you one thing. They're not that cold hardy. They are hardy down into the lower 20s Fahrenheit, and then they will start to get damaged. I know of a very tall one growing in my buddy's garden near Vancouver, southeast of Vancouver, and it is probably near 20 feet tall, and he does give it a bit of help in the wintertime, and I do have videos of it here. It's amazing. It's a beautiful palm, been in the ground about 20 years. TTTLFC, hey pal, how's it going there, guy? And nice to see all you guys are growing palm trees and you're all exotic plant nuts out there. And that's why you're here watching this plant nut, exotic plant nut. Yap my face off to you guys. Hubie, in Poland is more and more palm trees because climate is getting warmer. Well, you have to love that. And I know Poland gets really hot summers too. I met some super nice Polish people in Hawaii this past. Was it this past summer we met the Polish people? It was. It was, yeah, because we go to Maui every year, and believe it or not, sitting on the beach beside us, and we got talking. There was a really nice couple from Poland, first time they ever came to Maui, and I thought, wow, that's a long way to fly to Maui from Poland. And I said, why don't you just go to Majorca in Spain? They said they always wanted to see Maui. Once you try Maui, man, you'll go back again. The climate in Maui is perfect, and they have many different climates too. So down here by the ocean is tropical, and you go up to 10,000 foot, and it can get quite cold up there. They grow redwoods, and I'm sure there's Trachycarpus growing up there, but I've never seen it yet. Well, this is good. You're our little. Come here, puppy. Come here. I'm going to show you our dog. I don't know if you've ever seen our dog. He barks at nothing. We took him on a little hike with us today. Or deer. There's a lot of deer around here too. I don't know if any of you guys have deer where you are, but we have a problem with deer here, and they eat everything. Macy J. L. I grow palms and cordylines 20 miles from Edinburgh. Your seeds sprout very fast, Joe. Ah, sweet. I'm Polish too. Right on. That is awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I've shipped my palm seeds and my palms to at least 25 countries now, and I've shipped to every state in the U.S. And I do sell on eBay, and I've been shipping long before eBay. I've been selling palm trees and growing them, but we always have listings running on eBay of palms and seeds. Lee Bourne, I'm not from Poland. Another user from Poland. I'm from Russia. Sweet. We were surprised that palm trees grow in Canada without shelter. You're doing a great job creating tropics. Sweet. On right on. Well, I tell you what, there's lots of palm trees in Russia too, and there's palm trees in the Ukraine. If you go down to Ukraine, there are Trachycarpus palms, and also if you go to Sochi and I think Sevastopol in the Black Sea, there are some lots of palm trees down there and some beautiful jubaeas. So this part of Canada is completely different than the rest of Canada. So Canada is not all snow and igloos, folks. I would tell you that. On the Pacific coast of Canada, it runs a long way, right along the Pacific Ocean, all the way up to Alaska. And Zone 8B goes a long way, right up to near Alaska. And there are palm trees all up and down the Pacific coast here because the ocean regulates the air temperatures year round. So there's never any extremes. So there are a lot of palm trees on the coast here. So don't be fooled when you look at a map of Canada or you think it's covered in snow year round. We are definitely not like that here. Everything leaves out early here, and it's not like we're in Canada. When you're in this part of Canada on the southern Gulf Islands, it is completely different. Our climate here is Mediterranean-like, mild, wet winters and dry summers. Hello, MW Warner 1. How well do Trachycarpus nova well in the Pacific Northwest? There are some people growing them here. I don't grow them, but I've seen people growing them here, and I think it should do very well, especially if you're within close proximity to the Pacific Ocean. Nova should do pretty well, and should be proved to be pretty hardy here too. There are some growers, and I think I've actually seen pictures posted them on my Facebook page. People who love palm trees and exotic plants. Lee Bourne, yes, the same in Yalta. Yep, that is the Crimea. Yep, but in Sochi and climate is very warm, below minus. Yeah, exactly. There are Phoenix canariensis there, Washingtonias, and everything else they grow there. It's a very palmy place in southern Russia. So if I lived in Moscow, that's where I would go for a vacation. I would go for a palmy vacation to the Crimea, and I would swim in the Black Sea. And who else do we have in here? We have Ben. And is Wendy doing some? Yeah, Wendy is actually building something over there. I'm going to show you Wendy. Where's Wendy? Where are we? Where are we? Can you see Wendy over there? Where are you? Where are you? Can you wave? There's Wendy. There's Bendy Wendy over there. Wendy's building something. Wendy likes to build stuff. And you know what? I like to garden. I'm not really much into building. So we let Wendy build, and she's very happy building. And I'll tell you what happened. There was a lean-to there, and a big tree fell on it and crushed it last year. We were in the garden. Tree falls on it, crushes it. So she uses the same floor plan and gets rid of the lean-to, rips it apart, and she's building a little studio for herself to paint. She's an artist. Ben, 1727. How well do Trachycarpus princeps grow in pots? They should grow fine in pots. I think all Trachycarpus palms will grow well in pots. I'll tell you a little story here. There is Crystal Gardens in Victoria, had two big brick planters out front for decades with 20-foot Trachycarpus palms in them. And they were there for, like I say, decades, more than 25 years. They got rid of Crystal Gardens, and they moved those palms to, I believe, Douglas Street. So they're growing at a traffic island in Victoria. There's a lot of palm trees in Victoria. Streets lined with them. Vincenzi, have you had any joy growing Bismarckia nobilis indoors and out? Yeah, I've tried it outside. I bought one in the late 1980s from a nursery. And me being the plant saddest I was when I was younger, I've always liked to experiment with things and just see how much cold it could tolerate. I put it outside my zone 8A location, and the first cold snap, it was killed. So I had it as a house plant at first. I'm not much into house plants. I will admit that right now. I don't have a lot of house plants. I have some cactus. That's about it. Wendy has the house plants. I don't have any house plants. It's all outdoor hardy stuff I like to grow for our growing zone. And that's about it. But Bismarckia nobilis are no good this far north. I've seen them growing in Phoenix, Arizona. People posting pictures of them, so they do work down there. So they must be somewhat cold hardy. What else do we have here? Leaborn, I'm in zone 8B. Trachycarpus will grow. It has a frost tolerance of 17 or even more. If you said that, yeah, they are very hardy. Well, the coldest I've heard of Trachycarpus fortunei handling, a mature one, is minus 23 degrees Celsius with complete defoliation, but gaining new center spears and growing new fronds. So they're a very cold hardy palm once they're established. And you should also know a good ecotype is going to make a more cold hardy palm. So if you go to California and you harvest seeds off Trachycarpus fortunei growing on a boulevard in Anaheim, and you come to Vancouver, Canada, and you harvest seeds from a Trachycarpus fortunei in Vancouver, and you get I guarantee the ones in Vancouver are going to win over the Trachycarpus fortunei palms from California. That's just the way it works. I've seen it with my own eyes. Ben, 1727. Can I have a Trachycarpus princeps as an indoor plant? I would think for the winter time it would be okay, but year round, the problem with Trachycarpus as indoor plants, unless you miss them all the time, I find they get spider mites. And I experimented with them as an indoor plant back at my last location in zone 8A/8B. And I had them inside for a year and they did not look good. The warm air in the winter with the wood stove, they started to get spider mites and really dry fronds on them. So I ended up planting them outside. So my problem was I didn't mist them. You'd have to mist them, give them enough moisture and humidity, but it was just the air was too dry and they don't like it. And it was too warm all the time. It's like trying to grow one in Hawaii. They don't like to grow in Hawaii unless you're on the top of the mountain. Okay, what else do we have here? I'm reading your comments. Have you Trachycarpus windsand? Yes, I do, Hubie. Apparently, we have a big one in our garden. I planted it in 2003, and I'm guessing it's about 15 feet tall, something like that. And I have a lot in seed flats that I grew from seed. Seed sent to me from Vancouver. They're in pots right now. I probably have maybe 150 of them or so in pots. Vincenzi, how fast do Yucca rostrata grow? They seem to grow at a moderate rate here. There's a lot of them on our coast. I only know of one or two on Salt Spring Island, and there's one growing across from our park's work yard in this lady's yard. And she planted it about 3 years ago when it was about this big, and now it's got a trunk on it. So it seems to be growing pretty fast. She has a desert garden. She's got Yucca ailefolia in there and a whole bunch of neat cactus and stuff. So what I'll do, I'll go shoot a video of it sometime. I do have videos of it, and I'll go update a video of it sometime, and I'll post it for you guys so you can see it. Let's see, what else do we have here? I'm looking at your comments, guys, and it's nice to see you all in there from all over the world. So it looks like we have more people in Europe when I'm doing these afternoon live streams. The last live streams I did were at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, and I think most people in Europe are probably sleeping. And I would be sleeping too, because I go to bed at 9 every night. Question. MW Warner 1. One of my fortunei prints have both had spear pulls in February. How long does it take for new spears to pop out? It can take many months. It can take even by summertime before the spears, if there's life in the palm, it can take several months before spears will start to regenerate. And I told you guys the story, and hopefully you were all here listening. If not, I will tell it again. Bad winter in the 1980s. I guess it was the late 1980s. I had a lot of palms in my garden in zone 8A, 8B, and a lot of them had spear pull. And some of them I thought they were dead. So I took my pruners, the trunks were not that big, they're about this big. And I pushed the trunk over and I just basically cut these things out of the ground. Took them out to the compost pile, threw them in the compost pile, forgot about them. A bunch of blackberries and brambles were growing around the compost pile. And that was probably March. And by August, I could see fronds sticking out of the compost pile, a couple of fronds. Went down there over to the compost pile, and they had regenerated new spears, and even a frond had come out of those palms. So my bad. I should have left it in the ground. I should have left them in the ground, and I do. You always wait till the last minute. Never declare a Trachycarpus fortuna dead after a bad winter, even if it has spear pull. So be patient and hope for the best, and hopefully it will regenerate new spears. Blue sky, Cocothrinax, old man palm. Will this palm survive? No, absolutely not. No, it's too tropical. You better off to grow a Trachycarpus fortunae. And even a Trachycarpus fortunae doesn't like 0 degrees Fahrenheit, although mature ones, well established ones that have been through a lot of winters could handle 0 degrees Fahrenheit, but they're going to have some frond damage on it. Cocothrinax is a tropical palm, even though you figure it looks like it would be hardy with all that shaggy fur on it, but it's not. Hubi in Poland, most popular breeder trees, palms. Merrick, I know who he is. Merrick, I think I've shipped that guy a lot of seeds. Merrick, for sure. Yeah, he's one of my customers. He'll know who I am for sure. Can Phoenix Canary date palm survive with spear pull? I've never seen it, and I grow a lot of date palms. I grow a lot from seed too. I've never seen them survive spear pull. I know they can survive defoliation. Down on the Oregon coast, there's a place called Brookings, Oregon. There's lots of date palms there. About 26 miles north of Brookings, Oregon, the northernmost limit for date palms in the Pacific Northwest with no protection is a place called Gold Beach. I was down there photographing palm trees, I don't know, about 16 years ago. And I got talking with a guy down there. He had a huge date palm in his front yard. And I said, how did that palm tree do in the winter of 1990? December 1990 was a bad freeze, went right down to Northern California. He says they were defoliated at 13 degrees Fahrenheit and they regenerate. But I don't know if they lost their spears, but they did refoliate again, which is a good thing. Yeah, Hubie, yeah, Merrick, yeah, I've shipped that guy seeds. I'm pretty sure of it. Vincenze, I've been inspired by your planting of Trackies around Salt Spring. The whole place looks really tropical. What gave you the idea to plant and around Salt Spring Island? Well, I'm a palm nut, and I've always been a palm nut, and palm trees grow really well here, Vincenze. So why not spread them around? You know what I mean? And there's always been palm trees on Salt Spring before I came. Okay, there's some really old palm trees. I just really pushed it a lot more. So since I've been planting them on this island in 1989, there's a lot more palm trees in the last 30 odd years than before I came. But I know of some very old palms here that were planted in the 1960s. But you'd have to really look for them and hunt for them. Now, when you drive through town, you don't have to hunt for palm trees. When you're driving around Salt Spring Island, you see palm trees. That's how many there are. And that's the way it is in Vancouver, too. There's always been palm trees in Vancouver on the Pacific coast, but a lot of them were tucked away and hidden in gardens. And now they're everywhere. I'm not going to say it's a fad, but people love palm trees. They're low maintenance, disease resistant, and the roots don't crack sidewalks or break foundations. Lee Bourne, have you heard about the fruit Japanese medlar plant? Yes, I have. And that does grow here, Japanese medlar, and so does quince. I'm trying to think of it. The Latin name of it. Oh, God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Chinomeles japonica. And then there's another one, too, that gets the bigger fruit on it. And what you do, you scrape the inside out, fill it full of brown sugar, and then you bake it in the oven. Ooh. Those are the big quince. And I know medlar, too, but I've never eaten it. How often should you water a truck in the UK, summer and spring? Well, potted palms I water every couple of days in the nursery. So if in a pot and they're in the sun, they're going to dry out a lot faster. How often do we water our palms here? Like maybe a couple times a week.
Talking about ones
in the ground. Like they're established. They're a lot more drought tolerant.
Maybe every 3 days.
Yeah, Wendy's thinking every 3 days we water our palm. Depends how dry it is. Yeah, full sun or shade. It makes a difference. But we're in the dry season now, and it gets a lot drier as time passes. So we get into June and July and August. It is really warm and dry here every day. And we have to water the garden pretty much every day, but not every plant. So the palms might get watering every few days, and hostas and other plants that really need it are going to get watered every day. But well-established palms, you know what I mean? I have some palms here, Ben, that I never water. And I shot a video of one the other day, and it is a male palm. And it's got flower pods on it right now. And I planted that as a seedling, one of my seed-grown palms, back in the late 90s, I think 97. I don't fertilize it, I don't water it, and it's growing in the worst soil ever, and it's got fronds from top to bottom. Some of the nicest palms are the neglected ones, believe it or not. Let's see. What kind of Macy? What kind of exotics can I grow if cordyline grows well? Well, you're in Scotland, right? You can grow a lot of stuff in Scotland. So first of all, I would try Dicksonia antarctica. I would also cordyline. If you go cordylines, go cordyline indivisia. I would try Wania australis. I would try some Livistona in a sheltered area. I mean, there's lots of varieties of Trachycarpus palms you could grow. I know Washingtonia actually grows in southern England because I've seen it. So you could grow Butea capitata and Jubea chilensis and try some mule palms too. There's a wide variety of palms you can grow in Scotland because it is mild there. You probably don't get the heat units, but you don't get the severity of cold. And when it does get cold, it doesn't last long. See where they're growing over at Logan Botanical Gardens? I got a postcard sent to me from there once and it has palm trees on it. Late 90s, our friend went to Scotland. She actually lives in Scotland now, up in Aberdeen. And she said, anything I can bring you back from Scotland? I said, just send me a postcard with palm trees on it. So she sent me a postcard with palm trees on it from Logan Botanical Gardens. And she also brought me back some Glenlivet, but I haven't even drank it. It's sitting in the bottle still in the case. Can palms die from over pruning? I will tell you one thing, it's not good to prune off green fronds. So when you see palms that are pencil pruned, that is very bad for the palm tree. See these palm trees here? Only prune them off if they have dead brown fronds. These palms here have fronds from top to bottom. That's the way I like to see them. I don't like to see a palm tree with 3 fronds sticking out the top. In my opinion, that looks really ugly. And that's why a lot of people think palm trees look ugly. Telephone pole with 3 things sticking out the top of it. It's not good for the palms. Hello, weather follower. No, you're not late. I've only been babbling for 31 minutes. Good to see you in there. Leeborn, I had 2 palm trees, windmill palm. Fortuna, I had only one once bloomed. But then the big one was cut down. Oh, there's no pollination. Oh, no. Somebody cut it down. That's terrible. You know what? People cut down palm trees here. And I know of 3 beautiful palm trees that were cut down. One was 20 feet tall. Actually, 2 of them were 20 feet tall, and one was 15 feet tall, and they took the chainsaw to it. One, the new people moved in. They didn't like the palm tree. They cut it down. The second one, it was growing in a lady's backyard. She moved into the place. The gardener says it was too tall, so he cut it down. And then the third one was at Grace Point, bare trunk trachea, and they cut down a eucalyptus. They tried to dig out the eucalyptus roots. They said the palm was in the way to get the excavator in, so they chainsawed it down. Stupid people. Can't fix stupid, man. Never cut down a palm tree. Leeborn, I hope the translator doesn't misrepresent. You're doing good, Lee. You're doing good, buddy. Not a problem at all. You fertilize with something, palm trees? Hubie. What we use here, Hubie, is organic mulch. So we use bags of manure and we use seaweed. We use compost. We used to use a lot of fish fertilizer. And I actually did use some palm food on a few of the palm trees here and the nursery stock. So there is a specialized palm food. But if you top dress your palms around the base with bagged mushroom manure, steer manure, horse manure, even chicken manure, it is perfect for them. Every time you water or it rains, it will leach down into the roots and keep your palms green. Even grass food works for them, believe it or not. How hardy are Washingtonia robusta? Down to about minus 6.5 degrees Celsius, so 20 degrees Fahrenheit. There are Washingtonia growing here in sheltered belts on our Pacific coast, but they are not a long-term palm. I knew of one growing near our main town, beside a swimming pool, close to a house, and it was in the ground for about 8 or 9 winters. And I had it featured a couple of times in Hardy Palm International. Doing beautiful. I get a little beat up every winter. The trunk was about maybe getting close to 4.5 to 5 feet tall. The new people came when they sold the place, the old people, and the new people got it cut down. It was a filibuster, I think. I'm pretty sure it was a filibuster. Vincenza, I know you're both love with Maui. Do you ever see yourself moving there in the future permanently? Only if I win the big lottery. Then I can move there easily.
We'd love to have a property.
Wendy would like to have a property there. We basically rent the same condo every year. This year, or sorry, the last time we were there, we stayed in a different condo. But being Canadian and moving to the States is not that easy. And the medical system down there is a lot different than here in Canada. We're fully covered. I'm fully covered. I go to the doctor. I don't pay anything.